everybody, Dana Powell here, international artist for Colors by Gina, and today I'm doing rich reds. I'm so excited. My client has strawberry blonde hair, and that is her beautiful base that I get to color over. And so today we're going to be using these. This is going to be the 8.43 and the 6.6. I can't wait to put these together. And all I'm going to use is a 10 volume color producer because she's already a strawberry blonde, and that's all we need. So excited to get started. I know you guys are ready too. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I really hope that you learned something, a cool technique that you get to take back to your salon and use on your own clients. I hope that this inspires you to do some more falls and some more fall colors, reds, coppers, and just make it your own. Custom color is where it's at, and that's what keeps them coming back. All right, let's get started. That we have everything parted, we're going to go into the applying the color. So again, we have our 8.43 and our 6.6. Nice vibrant red and a very nice pure copper. So I've sectioned it out in 4 sections. She has shaved sides and it goes into a V. So I did it into a triangle shape, and I pulled these two to the side because I'm going to do the blocking technique. I did these up top, if you can see those, into 4 sections because I want to soften it up here. Since it's going to be blocking down here, I'm going to soften it up here with regular foiling. And so I'm going to go ahead and start that. We're going to go onto this side. Make sure that you have really precise partings, because with the blocking you just don't want to bleed into the other side. I'm doing similar colors, so these are going to blend together really nicely. If you did like the lightning dust on these and you had some blondes, then you know you'd have to be a little bit more careful. You've seen some of the blocking where they do the dark brown and the really bright blonde. Those you have to be a little bit more careful. These will blend right into each other really seamlessly. So I don't have to be as careful, but because she has nice shaved sides, we don't want to get any color onto her edges, so that it's nice sharp lines into that V shape that she already has. So let's go ahead and put our 8.43 on this side. This color glides on so nice. I love that so much. I've been doing a lot of coppers and a lot of golden blondes lately, so this is nice to be able to use one of the really bright reds with the coppers. And her base is so beautiful. It's already a strawberry blonde, so she allows me to do all my fun classes on her head. I'm grateful. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little foil here and just lay that right there so that I don't have to worry about it getting on to the other side. Always have a little towel handy right here because when you're doing this blocking, you want to be able to wipe your hands off to get to that next color without getting in with the bleeding too much. So I'm just going to do these 2 sides, alternating the colors. That was the 8.43, and then this is going to be the 6.6. It's already such a vibrant red, and they just come out so true to color. And with her base, it's really just going to pop. Cut it in half. Make sure you're getting those inside. I just put my hand there so it stays out of the way. Go ahead and color and slide it down. It's so easy to slide down. Another reason I just love this color line. You don't need a lot of it. A little bit goes a long way. I'm going to separate that that 8.43 with my 6.6. And finish applying this to these blocking sections that I already have. All right, that's on. Fold it up just to get it out of the way. That. And again, wipe the hands. Bend this down just so everything's going that way. And then I'm going to take everything and bend it against each other like that. And then take a little clip and clip it together so it's out of the way. Now I'm going to take my towel and I'm just going to go back over here just to really check on this crisp line here. Soften it a little bit. Let's see that. You want to keep that really crisp. And you can add extra foils if you need to. I'm just gonna put another little foil here just to grab. Put this side. All right, now we're gonna move to the top up here. So I got about an inch section right there, and I just did that to make it a little bit more fluid. When this drops down, I want it to be a little softer for her, not just all the blocking, but then when she lifts it up, it'll have that nice blocking technique. We are going to make the 6.6 her root, but I'm only going to do about a little 1/2 inch. To give her that tiny shadow root and a little bit of depth underneath. I'm not having to be as careful on this because we are going to do her full root all up here as well. All right, now we've done that little shadow root here at the top. So now I'm going to go in and separate this piece here in half. Just so I make sure that I get really good coverage. So now I have this small thin section here. And I'm going to go ahead and foil that by weaving my section and make it a foil. I'm gonna go ahead with the 8.43. Let's let these be long, just so I don't have too much going on when I'm using this small section. All right, so then for the middle, I do it one more time. This is the one that I had just weaved out. I'm just gonna soften that, pull that root down just a little bit, and we're gonna leave this one out, but I wanna bring down that 6.6 just a little bit, so that it gives it a natural flow. But I love her strawberry blonde, and I think having a little bit of that lightness left in there in between is going to give it some nice dimension. All right, so now I'm going to go back up and I'm going to grab the bottom and put this one up. 6.6, and I don't want too too much of this to be on every strand. So what I'm gonna do is, on this one, I'm gonna do a nice blend. So I just pulled it down kind of uneven. I'm gonna go on with the 8.43 and melt that together. Just to give it a custom color, not just alternating colors. All right, so this one's here. All right, now I got this last little section here. Again, I'm gonna just comb that little bit down, just so that shadow root looks a little bit more natural. That'll give it a soft finish. All right, we're gonna move around to the sides. All right, now we're on to the top section. And here we are again with her nice sharp edges that we want. So I am gonna do about a 1/2 inch root, shadow root going in through this whole top area. So we're gonna do that first. And as I get to the front, I'm going to even go a little bit more, less on that root. Tilt towards me a little bit. There you go. Just like really just tapping. Check this line again, because that is super important. All right, so then I'm going back over here with my comb, and again, just to soften that, combing right through it. I don't wait to do this because I don't want anything to sit on there long enough to make a line. So I go back through, and you can already see how that just blends right into her natural hair really, really well. All right, and I see it oxidizing a little bit over here, so I'm gonna wipe that down where I see a little bit of this. And always soften that hairline also. All right, so now we're gonna go to the other side and do the exact same thing. Right, here we are on the other side. This is the right side. So again, we're going to do the exact same thing with the root touch, only a 1/2 inch out. Again, being really careful for this line. You want it really precise and sharp. Again, I'm stopping right before I get to the front because that's going to be just feathered in. I don't want a real sharp line up there because that's the front of the face, and we want that soft. Even if we're doing bold colors, it's good to just have a little softness on the front. And then just a feathering on that front. Light. Okay. Now back to my comb. Okay, we'll take this section, go back to the back. Brush up and go through each little section that I just did. All these little important details really help finish off the look. Just thinking about the client, and you know, they might like something bold, but some days they might like something a little softer. So I try to give them a custom color where they can be bold and they can also have softness on one day, boldness on another day. So I try to do versatile styles and colors. And that's something, you know, they can't just have anybody do. So they have to come back to you to get that same look. All right, now I'm gonna go in with some foiling. I'm gonna start in her front. And I'm just taking diagonal sections here. I'm gonna put this down right here and lay this to the side. And I'm gonna go in with the 8.43 and just melt it in to that 6.6. Now when I'm doing alternate colors, I wanted to do paneling in this one so it would be nice and bold. And I'm just going to go into a triangle shape so that I know this is the 8.43. I try to do different shapes so I know which is what. Okay, now I'm going to go in right at my point. Grab another diagonal here. Brush again. All right, I'm going to go here. And I'm trying to block that edge so that it's not on her, on that sharp line that we're trying to keep so nice. It's hard with these colors. If you get a little bit, you know, you can always go back and try to remove that out right away. So because I'm doing the blocking and the paneling, I'm doing these two 8.43s back to back because I do want a little bit more copper to bounce against that root that we've done, just to give her a little lighter, brighter pieces up top since we have that nice bold root. Again, I'm still at the point here and going straight down like that. And again, I'm going to soften this. I'm going to leave that her color, but you can see how it's dragging down, and that'll be a nice transitional color right there. So it's going kind of down here and naturally falling into that. All right, and then I'm going to go back at the point again, diagonal section, soften that root touch. And because I did it thicker here, the 1/2 inch up to basically just the feathering, when I pull these diagonals, you can see that it's already farther down here and it goes up like this. So it's going to have that natural flow already just from doing that, switching up my direction and going larger to softer here. All right, so now we're going to go back and I'm going to do big macros here because this is in the middle. I'm going to drop this one down and I'm going to use this one with the macro slicing, and that is going to be in the middle of all of the 8.43 to give it some nice depth in the middle. But again, I'm not going to take it all the way to the bottom because I do want her ends to be a little lighter. So this one, I'm going to just drag down a little bit. Give it some depth. And finish it off with the 8.43. And then this is the one with two colors, so I just go ahead and leave that one flat. All right, let's go in another point. Okay, I'm gonna soften that root. I'm gonna take a little bit of this 8.3, just feather it down. Like that. Again, take my comb down and let it sit. Okay, now I'm gonna do a macro. Drop this one down. Smooth it into what's below. And again, I don't want it too harsh everywhere with the red, so I'm going to use the 8.43 on this top. And then I'm gonna stop there because her ends are that nice strawberry. And I'm just gonna use my comb again and comb it down. Blend it. All right, now we're gonna go to the other side. To the other side. Our line is still looking pretty crisp, but what I'm gonna do is tilt towards me a little bit. I'm just gonna soften it just a little bit because it's already coloring that hair. So I'm just softening it just a little bit here. So we're basically gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go back in with this triangle section in the front, and that's gonna give my pivot point for that top of that point system here. And then I'm just gonna go here, and then here, 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 just using that point. I had some little bleeding right in here. So what I'm gonna do is just take my 6.6 and I'm gonna kind of balayage some pieces right there so that that blends. Sometimes we get it on there, and this is just a nice way to fix that now so I don't have to fix it later. All right, let me get a foil. It'll also just give a little depth. So you can see it just creates a little bit of depth there. And I'm gonna go in with the 8.43 and just go right over it. I'm doing that one halfway because I don't want to mash that on what I did over there. Sometimes got to make a little bit of adjustment. And still like a small triangle, so at least I know what it is. That 8.43. All right, we're just going to continue on combing through that root, making sure it's really nice blend, and continuing on from my diagonal points here and going back. smaller section. So I'm going to bring this one down just to give it some depth. Not the same as the other side. The reason I'm doing that is because sometimes if they want a more bold look on one side, then I'll do the macro, which I did. On this side, I'm doing the micro weaving over here on this one with the 6.6. Reason being is she flips to this side, she'll have more of a blended look. On that side, she'll have more of a bold look. So I give her two options, again, making that custom color for them. So it doesn't have to be the same on this side, but I just need to remember what I'm doing. But once I'm getting to the top where she's really going to see that if she flips her head to the right or she flips her hair to the left, this gives her two options. So this one's going to be a more fluid, more blended look, and the other side is going to be that more bold. So this is our red alone, but with the micro foiling. So I'm going to do that in kind of a triangle. She is completely foiled. I'm gonna go back and check that line again, make sure nothing's sitting. Everything looks nice and sharp. There's one little spot here, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap that. Then I'm gonna take my extra foils just to protect that line again. Go underneath and let those lay on top of that foil, just to protect that sharp line. All right, so we're gonna let that sit and then we'll be back. Here we go. These are always so fun to spool. Oh, look at that brightness, that richness of that red, the copper, red. Ooh, I'm excited. We have blown dried, and now you can see all these different colors, the boldness, and then underneath the blocking, and then the softness of the micro and macro, and then that little shadow root. Then that's this side, how I did them differently. Then we're going to move over here. And you can see it's going to be a little bit more bold on this side. So shiny. This color line is just amazing. Look at the health of the hair. Looks better after you color it. Just fills in. It's just gorgeous. All right, I came in with the by Gina beautiful curling iron, infrared heat. Look how shiny the hair is. And now you can see all the different depth and her ends and how just combing it down and how they blend all together. That beautiful, beautiful 8.43 and her beautiful natural hair that's got that blonde tone to it, and then this rich 6.6 just blends perfectly with this. All right, now after finger combing through it, I mean, look at this. And we're done. Thank you so much for joining me today with Colors by Gina Real Reds class. brings in the fall, those reds, those coppers, and all the ones in between. It's a burst of color on your client, and it gives them something fun to work with the holidays. So I hope that you got to take something with you that you can take back to your salon and use on your own clients. Thanks again. I'm Dana Powell, international artist with Colors by Gina.